Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are across our one global village. It's been a while and we are back. This is Youth Inside, and pretty soon we'll be changing the name of this show to Youth and Politics. But we are still good, and we're going to discuss youth issues. We'll also delve into youth political issues as well, because even the political will has effect on the young generation. My name is Zac Sherman. We'll be here, and we are glad to resume our one and most famous premier youth platform only on KMTV, and you get the best right as we are. Today is beautiful, and of course, it's an amazing day. We've come to say you are welcome. And there have been a lot of questions, a lot of concerns about what's going on. Are we dead? We are not dead. We're going to be strong. We're going to be of the high courage to do the best that we can as media practitioners. Today is beautiful, and we have us Aaron Kofa. Aaron Kofa is a student of economics at the United Methodist University, of course, a former member of the Labour Party, and of course a former staffer as well of Senator Abraham Dillon, and our member right now, the National Public Relations Officer of the CDC COP Council of Patriots. Here with us in studio. We'll be right back to breaking in and tell us a little bit about youth issues, and we'll delve into youth politics as well. So keep tuned wherever you are watching KMTV. My name is Zac Sherman. Welcome back. This is Youth Inside, soon to be Youth and Politics, and we are glad to say we have us in studio Aaron Kofa. Aaron Kofa is the student of economics at the United Methodist University. Of course, former Labour Party, a member of the Labour Party, and a former staffer of Montserrat County Senator Abraham Dillon. He's here with us in studio. He's a young person. We're going to delve into youth issues and delve into politics as well here on KMTV. Remember, this show is Youth Inside, but will be changed as soon as possible to Youth and Politics. And we'll say you are glad wherever you are joining us. And we are glad to have Aaron Kofa with us in studio. Aaron, you are welcome. This is Youth Inside, soon to be Youth and Politics.
Thank you, Zach, and thanks to the KMTV family, my friend Josiah in there. Actually, anytime I come to KMTV, I feel impressed, because the environment, you talk about youth in politics and youth in general in our country, the environment is charged with young people, energetic young people. I think the country is making progress, and young people are understanding that they have to make progress. So it is a pleasure to be here, and thank you for the invite.
Right, and I hope it'll be a pleasure each time the invite is given.
Yeah, always,
right. Man, the movie is so good, and I'm grateful that you are here as well. The family is also grateful as well.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Let's get started. You've been around the corner, you've been around the country, you've seen a couple of things. Just get to know, what do you think about Mama Liberia as it takes right now? What is your own thinking about this country in a nutshell?
Basically, I'm a student of economics, so I like to take things from the economic perspective, disregarding the number street corners conversation, because when young people come to national platforms, we must be objective, and we must come with logic and certain level of reasoning. And so, economically, the country is progressing. Liberia is making impact and making a mark. You can see the stability in our economy when it comes to stability in prices and stability in how the country is operating. I want you to take an instance. Have you observed 8 months back you observe that petroleum products and other commodities prices have been stable. Our foreign exchange rate is stable, and we must talk about those things. And if people think that in politics generally we can politicize everything, then we must politicize the stability in our economy too, and commend those who are responsible for it, because when there are wrongs, we can outline those wrongs and attribute them to certain people. We use it as our regular criticism against government to gain fame and to score political points. And so when those things are right, we must outline them as well, because it is important that our people get to know when we can tell them the few wrongs, we must tell them the rights. And so it is important that our people get to know that the country economy is stable, prices are stable, and then people are being paid on time. There's no complaint. There's no protestation on salary issue. I think the investment atmosphere is conducive and Liberia is progressing.
You coming from a personal point of view or from a general point of view, because you're saying the economy is stable, so that's a questionable question. I mean, a statement.
Before I started speaking, I said from economic perspective, I'm a student of economy. If you say general point of view, then me, you're gonna add those who pretend to be professional to a certain level, and then you're gonna add the street corner people that can do the normal attire center arguments, and then you're gonna add the people that can do the normal harsh arguments.
So that's a personal opinion.
Yeah, but that's it. And from a professional perspective.
Right. So let's work around how youth really are now, the young people, in terms of are you seeing numerous changes on a positive direction? Liberian youth getting to the top, are they making up the minds? Are the mindsets being built for positive reasons? What do you think?
Young people are making progress. You are an example. Few years back, you were not in this position. Few years back, I was not in this position. Young people, let's use two of us as case study. Young people are making progress in Liberia. You got Moses on the afternoon show here at KMTV. A few years back, you were in my GB, setting right trap. I'm not denigrating him though, but it's the certain level of progress that we must commend ourselves for individually, because there are a few of our friends who see no reason in being progressive. But when we think to be progressive, we must commend ourselves as well. And so young people are making progress. There are a lot of young people making impact in the country. Like you look at kind of fresh, Mahmoud Johnson, and too many young people who are entrepreneurs that are investing in the country. And so Liberia is making progress, and young people are not like what the Stone Age politician took us for before, because back then you would not had Aaron Kofa sitting on MTV. It would be one other doctor, with big stomach sitting here on your platform addressing the media. And so it is important that young people are beginning to think beyond.
So what is the political scope of young people? It's impressive looking at the rising numbers of young people into politics. Is it impressive? Is it good?
Youth involvement in politics is becoming impressive. It is not impressive to some extent.
Impressive.
It is becoming impressive. Look, there will be a time where young people will take over politics in Liberia, and we are anticipating that time. This is one of the reasons why we don't frown too much at our colleagues in opposition, because we want to encourage them, we want to breathe them in the process, let them be part of the process. Look, the young people and the old folks have fed this country, and so it is on our generation. It is on us to liberate the country. It is on us to erect the necessary checkpoints for success and prosperity in the country. And so young people involvement into politics bring a lot of things, a lot of improvement, a lot of innovations in politics.
If you check the amount of young people, probably, if maybe you have done a research, looking at the amount of young people who are more likely going up from doing things in a positive direction, the more entrepreneurs, unlike our country where, or other countries where young people are seen on a high political arena, it seems not impressive. And you saying is impressive. Isn't that something to see as a distraction to young people getting what they need to get?
You see, we can predict people's future, and we must not pretend to be so serious to predict people's future. You see, from certain perspective, people will think that only unserious people get into politics and people who are less busy. So then let me take you to South Africa. I mean, the entire EFF is not serious. Those guys are not serious because they are so majority of young people. You check their members in parliament. They are mostly young people. So you say the likes of Frank Safoko, who got involved with politics, and now he's a lawmaker, one of Liberia's finest lawmakers, a very brilliant young man. You will say he not serious. You will say the like of Rosalind Swakogo, then a young lady who got involved into politics and is making a mark. You know, people can contribute to their community and then contribute on a larger scale. People think that when it comes to politics and get certain level of permanence, you know, you get the opportunity to contribute to your community on a larger scale. And so when people come to politics and they get successful, we must commend that and say and stop discouraging the art of politicking. Look, we must even start encouraging politics in our homes where our children can be part of decision making. You know, then when we started from our homes, when they come out, they'll be good decision makers.
But do you think the intent of politicking is really met? I mean, because why is it that people find it necessary, young people are getting to it? Is it really getting to the intent?
Unlike you want to define politics differently. But the intent of politics and the intent of young people getting involved into politics is to make change. It's for change. Let's use Mayor Jefferson Koji as a case study. Years back, we had one old lady at the Monrovia City Corporation. You know, she sat there, did nothing. But then look at the young mayor. I know you have been to City Hall. If you look at the environment and the atmosphere, most of the people who are making impact, who are contributing successfully are young people. Look at the innovation of the MCC TV, the innovation that brought the MCC TV. MCC never had any television station there, but they have brought MCC TV, and you look at so young people there making impact. And you agree with me that it makes a lot of sense that the Monrovia City Corporation should operate its own online platform to inform the people. Look at the innovation again at MCC, the City Garden, a place where before then, that backyard used to be a barroom space, but the Lord Mayor have transformed that area and somebody took the place and make it a modern restaurant and bar where people go, even United Party lawmakers go there to sit and peace themselves and entertain themselves. And so young people are being employed, people, not even young people alone, older folks are being employed, and then, you know, they are working to earn living.
So are you aware
so
that
this is innovation.
young people come into the play in the name of becoming the savior, you know, coming with the, I mean, they need to talk to convince, almost like coming in the name of becoming the savior of the people. But when the time comes, it's different from the reality. With that direction, are you impressed as a young man as well?
You see, this is where it comes. I don't really like it when people attribute certain things to only young people. So you mean you assume me now? You want me to say yes that young people come to politics with red
let's get this clear.
So then how about Dillon? Dillon is not a young man as well. Dillon is lying around.
Let's get to that. We'll get to that later, right? But this is an open secret. But this is an open secret that the youth, most of them, even not only youth. I'm not just being particular now about it, but we are young people. We have future. We still have the future. We still have the time to make the difference. So when we should have come on the platform, making the right statements, talking the right of the things, and at the end of the day, what we've said, what we've committed ourselves, our soul and mind to, is not up to the reality. I mean, it's an open secret.
But I just want you to name a young man who've made promises during campaign and is yet to fulfill.
No, it doesn't necessarily have to be a lawmaker. It doesn't necessarily have to be a lawmaker. But I just tell you
a certain
that.
Point in life.
How do you see that as well? Is it that it's not clear to that?
Okay, yeah. Let me just respond to it.
Right.
It is now a pointed question to some extent. Lying in general is wrong. Whether it is from a young man or from an old man, to lie is wrong. The Bible says that shall not lie. I'm a Christian. The Bible says that shall not lie. So if it is for a young man or an old man, lying is wrong. So whether young people lie their way to permanence or through whatever means, it is wrong to lie. But then we cannot attribute it to only young people. There are older folks who are liars around here.
So let's get to you a bit. You've been a member of Liberty Party, a party established and founded by one of Liberia's politicians who was part of Councillor Bronskin. And you also serve as a starver of Montserrat County Senate as a youth, as a young man. Because I will come in a youth perspective. Let's get the understanding of you taking yourself from Liberty Party first, taking yourself from Dillon and coming to CDC COP. Let's get a narrative of that.
This is my second time on KMTV, and I answered the question before.
Right.
When we join institutions, there are things that drive people to institutions. You know, some people join, even churches, some people go to church because the pastor can preach well. You know, and other people go to church because the choir can sing. There are people who go to church because the usher talk to them well. My thing is that when we joined the Liberty Party, Councillor Brumskin, you know, judging the character of Councillor Brumskin and the time he came into politics, because it was an eye-opener for some of us. The kind of character we look for in politics were found in Brumskin, was seen clearly in Brumskin. And so we went Brumskin way. But we would have stayed with the Liberty Party if and only if the Liberty Party would have up to maintain the legacy of Councillor Brumskin. But in the absence of maintaining the legacy of Councillor Brumskin, I don't think it is reasonable enough that we stay there. Even the Bible says to err is human and to forgive is divine. To some extent, we can make mistake, and then we must even forgive ourselves. And so I cannot be in the Liberty Party where we have Mele Musa Bedede presiding over the party as chairman of the party, where Musa Bedede has been placed on FIFA ban for 10 years. From all sporting activities around the world. Look, it makes no sense that the Liberty Party will question issue of integrity in the country, even among themselves in the opposition, leads to talk about questioning national government. So we can't stay in that cycle when the thing that drove us to that cycle is saying dim.
Now, if you talk about maintaining the legacy integrity of Liberty Party or Councillor Bronskin, why didn't you people push the idea? Almost like I'm running away from my home because I see fire in my home. Isn't that a scenario you try to push it? Why you didn't push the idea in terms of making sure what was meant to be done should be done, but rather escaping from it? Why?
Yeah, like what you're trying to say. You said you asked me if you can escape from your home because there's a fire in your home.
Yeah.
Zac, if fire is in the KMTV studio right now, two all run away.
So I could use fire as an instance, but what if fire is not as destructive as it's supposed to be? Because you try to make the essence of being part is to make good of what you want to be a part of. Now you say, according to you, that the legacy, the ideology of that particular institution coming together wasn't made at the time. The former leader has passed off. My question is, why should you not get in for those things that you know necessary, but rather escaping? Was it not a sin or escaping for your responsibility as a person who try to make the difference?
The first thing we must have this kind of thought where you cannot fight to change something that you can't change. There are certain things that you can't change. And so you can't do nothing about it. Look at me, or Aaron Kovaci.
So you accept that would be a failure?
No, it is not. But the thing is that you can't change certain things. Now look at, there's a subset of Liberty Party right now, so you want to say the Big Brother failed? No, the Liberty Party were built, before the convention, the cycle were built around the Unionby, Dillon, and Belity. Look at the handlers of Liberty Party. Look at the people handling the party right now. You get a Martin Kula, the national secretary of the party, or office boy in Dillon's office. You get a national spokesperson for the party, or office boy in Unionby Kanga office. So the party is in that cycle. So there's no way that anyone can come from out to break it. Look, we have big brothers, I say Jackson and other in clan. I'm not reducing myself to some extent, but other in clan big brothers who fought the process, but they couldn't make it. Look at how they deprived Clark Edward Tome of position in the Liberty Party. Dillon local Clark, Stephen Clark made Martin the party secretary. So there are things that we can't fight, and so we must not pretend to be.
You need the word step on. What do you mean?
He surprised Clark. Before the convention, it was clear that, as per our closed-door conversation and discussion, it was clear that Clark would have been the party secretary until Martin, who was presiding over the election, decided to contest as secretary of the party.
So in that direction, that means you people, you are in particular, or any other young person who are in the party may have shifted to another party, couldn't withstand the condition.
Cheno Jallo just joined the PLP. Cheno Jallo from Liberty Party, he was youth chair and later the main assistant secretary for auxiliaries.
Right.
He just joined the PLP. So there are people, besides that, there's a subset of Liberty Party operating somewhere in Sinker. They call it Independent Liberty Party. Look, I don't want to put myself in that situation where I'm going to join certain group that call themselves Independent Liberty Party. They ain't going anywhere. Even the real Liberty Party is not going anywhere. So in the midst of division, you find a lot of things, a lot of unresolved things. And so some of us who progressive young people, we can't keep ourselves dangling in the cycle. I'm only like moving on Liberty Party and going back to go join Chewy Party. It makes no sense. And so we must progress. Besides that, you see, even in sports, we have second choice. In politics, we must have second choice. I support that Councillor Brunskin. And assuming that Councillor Brunskin was dead, and the CPP still stand, and they have Baka as standard bearer, I would have still resign on the CPP.
Are you a party loyalty?
When we tend to be loyal to institutions, it is from two many perspectives. As to the institution principles and certain individual in the institution cycle. You can't have ability in Liberty Party and still expect me to be loyal to Liberty Party.
Now that escape Liberty Party, Senator Dillon is an individual. Mm-hmm. He's not a party. Mm-hmm. As an individual, mm-hmm. Why live away from him, working on him? Because he coming there as an individual, working as a senator. He's not a party, but again, here you are, after being member of Liberty Party, you now left the office of Senator Dillon. The question is why?
This is the same thing. You see, certain things drive out to supporting certain people. That I may like you, I may like you for certain reason. You're a good talker, you present a show well. But the day you stop presenting a show, I will stop following you. The day you stop being professional, I will stop following you. And so I'm not tied to supporting your show. In as much as I'm supporting your show because you are professional, the day you stop presenting professionally, I will stop supporting you. So this is it. You knew that Dillon would allow of recent? No. This is politics. The team will play in our church. Even in church, we get mistakes. We get disagreement in church. This is politics. Nobody going to come tell you, say, I sinned and it remains sin forever. Look, if you tell me that you are saint and you maintain our status, you raise your bar and maintain the bar for a certain period, I will support you. But when you go down, I will withdraw. Brother, we all want the best for this country. And so when certain people come pretending to be who we want for the country, and then at a certain point we observe backward turn in what they lie to us about, I think it is important enough to change. It is very important to change.
Children, unborn children may see you, what you've done as a young person, shifting from a party, moving from an office of a senator to another party would be a history, and they will remember you for that. Will you be glad for your action?
Unborn children will be glad that Avontier resigned from Liberty Party because Musa ability on 9 years FIFA ban, who the people gave money to. We will explain it in our simplest way that FIFA gave money to Musa ability to come fight Ebola in his own country, to give paracetamol to our local people in West Point and Nikutan. He ate the money. And so the ability can be chairman of Liberty Party and it won't be there. That's what he resigned for. They will be very glad.
So in that direction, does that mean that your action would be something that you've taken and you will continue to be on a path as a CDC person?
Bossman, I joined the CDC and no one told me to join the CDC. Probably there are people who, like, when I resigned, I gave you a space. Ask most of your KMTV colleagues when they cover my press conference. I had people from Dr. Cassell office sitting with me. We were in close conversation to join the PLP. But I took phone one day and called my main bank. I said, I want to join the CDC. I went there myself. conviction drove me to it. Nobody tell me, say, Aaron, we'll give you this, and let's set this deal like Dillon did in 2017 before he went the United Party with the promising 25,000. No, I didn't do it to support the CDC. I called myself, place calls, and made efforts to join the CDC myself.
Okay, so let's delve into what you guys been doing of recent. You made a statement. Fortunate for me, I was there, and you guys talk about having this protest action against Senator Dillon when she have returned. Let us get the root cause of your statement first of all.
When we organized our protest, we organized it to be safer and mature. We were not going at the airport to throw stones. We were not going at the airport to fight people. We were just going at the airport to demand what is necessary and what is needed. Senator Dillon, when he won the elections, he promised to take only 5,000. And then if you calculate the money, like he did all his bargaining and said he would give Monserrato 3,000. For the past 8 months, Monserrato is yet to receive a cent. Assuming that the scheme that the setup of county council is right, let's agree that they've been doing cover up for each other. But since then, 8 months now, we have never heard or seen the county council other than Chakla. And so we were going there to demand our portion of Senator Dillon's salary as citizens of Monserrato. I'm not talking about Grand Bazaar, Grand Crew, or any place. I voted in Monserrato, and so I have voting rights and everything in Monserrato. And so Senator Dillon is my senator, and he's owed it to me. Like he owed it to Chairman Ben Believe Toba Jr., he owed it to Kendrick Penela, and he owed it to the entire membership of the CDC Council of Patriots because we have our voting rights in Monserrato County. And so we were going there to ask our Senator Dillon that this is it, Chief. For the past 8 months, Monserrato County have not received a portion of your salary, so we want our money. Besides that, we were going there again to tell Dillon that the initial 15,000 I was given by the Senate, or through the Senate budget, whatever means they put it, the Nicodemusly put it, we were going to demand the money because in his justification, he said the money were for community engagement. Monserrato is not America. So when the money is for community engagement, go to West Point, go to Puebla, go to Nicutan, don't go Florida, don't go New York. America is not Monserrato. And so we were going there, since maybe he came from America, maybe he added the money up, and so we were going there maybe, because when you do business, I'm a student of economics, I do business courses as well. When you in business, we got a certain point when you are supposed to deliver, and you deliver, you must add profit. And so we were going there, probably maybe he went to America, and so added profit. And so we were going right at the airport to demand our money. We never needed anything from Dillon. We were doing the calculations. We tell him this is the amount we want. If you want to add profit, it's up to him. But this is it. When you part of an institution, you must be institution disciplined. The big brother from the CDC, the Revolutionary National Youth League of the CDC, big brother Newland, Hazan, Isaiah Toba, Mr. Josephine Davis, and the lawmaker Jefferson Koji, started was that, we should not protest. Though they commended our effort.
Let me hold you there. Let me hold you there. We will be back actually, but let's get some of the comments coming up, and we will continue right after the break. But let's get some of our comments coming up. Those following us, and we'll say thanks for keep following us. This is Youth Insight, and will soon be Youth in Politics, and we have Zac Raymond. Flomo, I'm closely following brother leader Aaron Kofa Chair. We reading out your comments too as well. So to let you know that your comments here is part of the participation into the show this beautiful time. Good afternoon, Cyril Saram saying good afternoon. On top of it, Deviato Davis is saying that I'm following up with you, brother leader Aaron Kofa Chair. Continuing your success stories. We also entertain questions and concerns as well from those that will be following us, and those comments that will be coming forth. Monitoring from Dixville Township. So turn my brother Aaron Kofa. Thank my brother Aaron Kofa. Also true rather. Monitoring live and clear from the office of the True Week Party. These not worries. I don't know specifically what is that. We hope that everyone will be telling us these not worry. Bias. Wow. I don't know. What do you mean by bias? The word is just bias. Just say bias and leave. That's Corey Flomo, Katina Kamara. I'm here. I know you're following, and thanks for following as well. What is stable? Wow. What is stable? Corey Flomo is asking a question. What is stable? Although it's ambiguous, I don't know what you mean. That's expressing me. Economic growth in you. Economic growth in you in your head. Wow, phone can finish in like that's one of someone's comment. Gobert Tory. I don't know particularly, but thanks for also following and your comments. It's important. All the government officials that took the taxpayer money need to return. Wow, need to be returned. I don't know what you're talking about, the lawmakers, or you talking about government officials in general. Aaron Kofa, only 5 people watching you. Just be now only 5% follow-ups to come, but the show is not for Aaron. The show is for the general public, mind you. So please don't tie it to him. Go ahead. Katrina Kamara is commenting, discuss the issues directly. We hope we can do that, and I can trust you that we're doing it as well. Religiously following, brother. And these are the comments still coming up, but we need to take a break. We reached to the bridge of this show. Remember, this is Youth Insight, and will soon be Youth and Politics. Remember, the youth issues is not just tied to, as you see it, the political will also determine how young people will be and how they will cooperate and actively be involved into the national development of our country. We take a very short break and be right back. My name is Zac Sherman. Thanks, and again, thanks for rejoining us. This is Youth Insight, and will soon be Youth and Politics. Today is Aaron Kofa. Aaron Kofa is one of the executive member of the CDC Council of Patriots, and he's been in studio. Remember, he was once a member of the Labour Party, once a staffer of the Muswell County Senator Abraham Dillon. He's here with us in the studio today, and we are discussing cross-sectional issues here, and we hope to have him in the studio, and we are also hope to rejoin him as we continue the discussion. We were talking about, Aaron, you're welcome back. This is Youth Insight, and will soon be Youth and Politics.
Thank you. I'm actually looking forward to the day that I will be Youth in Politics.
Right.
Youth in Politics.
And I'm like you playing an introductory role to Youth in Politics because dwelling to a little bit of harsh talk. It hasn't been, and this is a point. It's a turning point from Youth Insight to Youth in Politics. And you say you are happy, and I hope you will be that person officially launching that.
No problem, man. No problem. We will do that.
Okay.
The CDC Council of Patriots will do that. Okay. We will do that.
Okay. That's something that we didn't track, right? you joined the Council of Patriots as you want a steward of the CDC Council of Patriots. Let's just get a background understanding about what brought to that idea before going forward to your latest press conference. Quickly.
The CDC Council of Patriots is the only legitimate council of patriots in the country.
Legitimate? What do you mean?
If you understand what legitimacy is,
right?
If
Register,
you actually know what
right.
legitimacy is,
No,
the
maybe
CDC,
you are defining your own
the
way.
CDC Council of Patriots is the only legitimate council of patriots in the country. When our colleagues, because I was not there initially, thought to form the CDC Council of Patriots, to form the CDC Council of Patriots with ideological colleagues, like-minded individuals, to confront lies, to confront deception, like we did with Dillon, to confront people coming to permanence through the other means, not being real. So the CDC Council of Patriots is an institution, intelligence institution that is formed to detect lies and to digest certain level of misfit propaganda from the other end. And so the group is a pressure group, a strategic pressure group.
When you say the other end, what do you mean?
Our opposition brothers, my man. You know there are lies. You know, even Dillon is a case study right now. Let's use Dillon because he's the latest liar in town. Dillon is a case study. You know, when we were...
So before coming to... you said ideological minds fixed to push for the issues. Now, are you telling us to, in another word, that the government, CDC government, is a government of straight line, nothing to really talk about, nothing to criticize on? Is that what you're talking about?
The last time I was on the radio and somebody asked me, you know, you said this about the government, you said this about the government. So are you not seeing any wrong in the government or in our governance system? I said, I'm seeing you wrong. Yeah, I've seen you wrong. They asked me why. I said, the information ministry is not performing. And that is clear. The information ministry is not performing. If the information ministry were performing, people like Dillon would not be scoring political points. If the information ministry were performing, you know, there would not be too many lies and deception.
So the focus
is
propaganda? Your focus is propaganda, right?
My focus is not propaganda.
But you're saying the ministry of information?
I'm not a propagandist.
Is it the ministry of information? It's the only ministry?
And you want to know if there are some errors in government,
and that's why
in our governance system.
Yeah, that's why I'm blaming
the Ministry of Information. If the Ministry of Information were proactive enough, people like Dillon would not be talking loosely around.
The Ministry of Information is not the only ministry or agency in the
government.
But
you ask me for wrong, I the only place I see wrong for now.
For you personally?
Personally,
or from a
I'm not
COP perspective?
From the CDC Council of Patriots perspective.
Or you speaking as an individual?
I'm speaking from my own perspective.
Fairly.
There you have attended our press conferences. And so if you go to our press conference, ask us. Ask the institution in general, because when we're together, we talk, we speak in one call. And so if you attend our press conferences, ask us in general and say, what are some of the wrongs that you're seeing in governance? We will explain to you. We will designate somebody to respond to you, but I'm not charged with the responsibility to speak for the CDC Council of Patriots on government wrongs. I'm saying, has Aaron Chie, there are wrongs in governance, and they can be attributed squarely to the Ministry of Information because they are not communicating properly.
So that's why I said, what you still not making things clear when you say not communicating properly. You want to simplify your statement?
Yeah, Dillon, in the heat of Ebola, Dillon didn't buy microphone. Almost Corona, almost at the end of it, Dillon buy microphone and post it on Facebook. But IMF and World Bank granted the government through the Ministry of Finance signed above 25 million D. No one talk about it from the Ministry of Information. The president went to France and secured tons of COVID-19 equipment. The Ministry of Information and other ministers, they are yet to talk about it. And so there are lapses in that part of our governance system. And so we must talk about it. When you ask me, I think I'm being fair enough when you ask me if there are issues in government, that some of our friends will come in and say, no, nothing, everything is bread and butter and XYZ. And so I'm being fair enough.
Ministry of Information.
Brother,
not the
From
other
my
institution.
perspective, the Ministry of Information is lacking beyond on a slow pace.
But do you know your statement here too, as a public relation officer of the Citizen Council of Patriots, could be perceived as how the Council of Patriots see issues right now in the country?
No, I don't know who will perceive it like that, but I'm saying has error. So there are
So
people in
your
the Council
statements are
of
basically
Patriots.
from a press conference as a member of the COP?
No, you go to our press conference. The body in general, have you ever heard them say the Ministry of Information is lagging behind in terms of information dissemination? No, I've said it twice.
So are you saying, not sure that the Ministry of Information, probably there's misplacement, those who go there are not qualified?
No, there's not misplacement. You know, at times when you appoint people to a position, it becomes reluctant.
But even you know that when the rightful person is not given, the effectiveness and efficiency of that place can be given.
No. There are people who are rightly placed. But let me tell you something, my brother. You know, some people attach much diplomacy and professionalism to some extent that they don't move. And it is important enough that we move. Look at my example. The government and through the IMF, the Ministry of Finance, some financing deal and loan around here. You didn't see it. The Ministry of Information, the last time I checked, I think they posted 3 months back on the official page, and the page is not up to date. So they are not on top of their game.
Okay, so let's go back to this issue of the you joined COP. You explained why. You were a little bit in depth to that. Why you joined COP. You didn't end what you try to say. You went with the issue of the Ministry of Information, but I was really asking you. Despite you leaving Liberty Party, leaving Senator Dillon office, why join COP, the CDC COP?
I think, you see, when you ask me a question, give me the opportunity to explain myself. You know, let's stop jumping in between questions. When I resigned from the Liberty Party, it took me 2 months. I've talked with people from different political parties and not anyone from the CDC. I told you I joined the CDC by myself. I placed calls to the people. Now, when we join institutions, your question is why did I join the CDC COP? When we join institutions, we must align ourselves with auxiliaries. I can't just join the CDC, now I contest to be national secretary or youth chair or anything. You must start from somewhere. And so the CDC COP is a grassroots movement. And so aligning with the CDC COP is the beginning of my CDC journey. And so I must test myself. I must be tested at the level of CDC COP before going to other national executive committee or being part of the National Youth League. Though I'm a young man, part of the National Youth League, but when I say part, I mean being an executive committee member or being in leadership. And so I can't just join CDC, now I get certain position, I must start from somewhere. And so starting from the CDC Council of Patriots is a good start. I could start from any auxiliary. But at the time, when I joined the CDC, the only auxiliary that were close to me and people that I was familiar with were people from the CDC Council of Patriots. And besides being familiar with people from the CDC Council of Patriots, they were one of the groups. There are too many groups in the CDC that are pushing, but they were one of the groups that I saw actively engaging. And so I may have stopped there, and I passionately joined the CDC Council of Patriots.
You just talk about position. Is it that you need a position before becoming a part of a party?
Probably you didn't listen to me well.
I listened to you clearly.
If I needed a position, I'm never going to be part of the CDC.
I listened to you
this
very
is what
clearly.
I said.
I listened to you
joining
very
the
clearly.
CDC, I stay in studio.
Go ahead.
Joining the CDC, I could not just join the CDC and be, like you say, why I have to join the CDC Council of Patriots. And so this is what I'm saying. I could not join the CDC and go straight to the National Youth League and be at a contest position. No, I joined the CDC beginning with the Council of Patriots as a starting point.
As a starting point, though?
To the party. Look, I just joined the party. And joining the Council of Patriots is the beginning of my CDC journey. I could not join the CDC as secretary because the CDC already has Secretary General. I could not join the CDC as an executive committee member in its Revolutionary National Youth Congress as an executive committee member because they already have a system, structure, leadership structure set up. And so I did not join the CDC for position.
What are you doing for?
I joined the CDC because I believe that we've made errors. At times, individual errors. Politically, we made errors. We were deceived, by certain class of people. They made us to go against our own, and so we have to make a comeback. And so when we make a comeback and reconsider our decision, analyzing our political terrains, the CDC is the best place to go right now.
Right. So your latest press conference that you had, if you online the World Council of Patriots, especially the World Patriots, is a word of integrity, is a word people build on and feel like you are part, you want to do things with all your heart and mind and soul. You made a statement publicly that you are to hold a protest when Senator Dillon should have arrived. Of course, he has arrived. Why wasn't your statement to the reality? Are you coming on with some things just to capture the minds of the people?
For us, we don't believe in toxic propaganda. The CDC is an institution. Unless you want to say you're not following active librarian politics. But before we planned our protest, there was no press conference from the Revolutionary National Youth League of the CDC. They didn't have a press conference.
Council of Patriots, CDC.
No, I'm
CDC?
saying the CDC Youth League.
I understand.
They just had a press conference of recent acknowledging our efforts. But then they are saying that due to the COVID-19, the spread of the virus and other things, we must cease the protest and then abide by health protocols. And so it is important enough that we listen to them. And so we did the best thing. Look, you were talking about being patriotic. The CDC Council of Patriots going to the airport to demand a much rather portion of Dillon's salary is very patriotic indeed. Going to the airport to tell Dillon that the people gave you $25,000 for community engagement and not to go lavish it in America is patriotic indeed. And so our fight and our struggle to make Dillon come to the people of Maserati was a very patriotic one. And so the CDC Council of Patriots is a patriotic group. But in the event where we have already planned and decided that we do this, we take this action, and then, they are big brothers though, regardless of all of us being in politics, they are big brothers. And they decided and have a press conference and say, no, our dear younger brothers in the CDC Council of Patriots, we are appealing to you to see reason to stop this protest because we are in a time of pandemic. And so it is important that we stop the protest because the CDC is the government of the day. The government made regulations and say observe health protocols, social distancing, wear your masks, and no public gathering. And so the CDC Youth League says they emphasize it to us and say it is important that we fight COVID together and leave Dillon for now. There's another day. Dillon will still be here after COVID-19. We will demand the money still getting all, and the laws are still getting many. And so we will demand the money. In as much as the laws are adding up and he keep upon that, we don't care whether he says sorry. We don't care. This is his seventh sorry now. This is Dillon's seventh time saying sorry. We don't care about it.
So before going into that, let me ask you this question. Patriotic. I'm coming back to the word patriotic as an organization under the banner or under the name patriotic. I just want to consider that underline that word, right?
Patriotic.
Right. And in your press statement, remember you talk about COVID-19, people doing prevention. You talk about awareness as well in your press conference. Conscientizing librarians to talk about, to get rid of the COVID-19. In that direction, you might have sensed out that there is COVID-19. Any attribute of organizing any protest that will bring people together who would be against health protocols, a question of such was also asked to you. And you said, where the masses get angry, If illness somehow doesn't stop. I'm not 100% sure of what was said, but something in that direction is what you guys say, and you now talk about your bigger brother advise you. I mean, isn't that a contradiction to being a patriotic person?
I don't know from where you see your contradiction. You see, this is it. Being a homo child doesn't prevent you from advices. People can advise you no matter how homo you are. And it makes you more homo sad when people keep advising you and you listening. When we plan, like when you ask the question, I can still remember in being said, when the masses get angry,
Right.
COVID cannot be a blockade. And so he was right. But now, though the masses are angry, but there are people who also say, oh, gentlemen, we're begging you.
The people are more than the masses.
They are part of the masses, and we are part of the masses. Look, brother, the entire West Point Township will not come to CCC headquarters and say, we're begging you. No, they will have to form a alliance. And so most of the big brothers are dwellers of West Points and those community, regardless of their positions in the CDC. The entire Liberia will not go represent the entire population of our country will not go represent Liberia at the UN General Assembly. The president will go there. And so we respected the views and the advices from the National Revolutionary Youth League as the voice of the masses.
You left on a senator of Montserrat County as a staff, a former staff. Right now, you are a former staff of his. How do you think, since you left, how have you felt as an individual, as a young person, from a political perspective?
Since I left, I felt relief. Certain environment you can be in, the environment can shift you in certain way. Since I left, on a most serious note, I felt very relieved, stress-free, and so on. This is it. There are people, you see Dillon understand propaganda. Real lying propaganda. If you're not smart, you'll not detect the lie. But he understands propaganda. This is a man who didn't declare his actual asset, but he lied that he declared asset. What sense does it make during the campaign when Liberty Party was being funded by other people and Dillon was in charge of money, finance, and Dillon will come barely 1 year after the campaign, Dillon will come declare asset and tell you and get $3, can you believe it? No. Dillon have lied his way. So I may be a veteran though. Dillon may have lied to me. I'm going to be a veteran of Dillon. So Dillon may have lied to me. But the best thing to do and what is appropriate to do when somebody lies to you, it is important to gain conscience on a timely basis, which I did. Look, let me tell you something. You see Dillon? I see too many people on Facebook talking about Dillon lie, Dillon lie, Dillon lie. This is not Dillon's first lie. Number one lie that Dillon tell that too many people around, even most of other country, they didn't detect what Dillon's salary pronouncement. Not salary number, but he asset declaration. They don't declare $3. They don't got 3 bank accounts. They don't declare $3 with a bank that the account said was dormant. Or bank, he then went there, the people asked to reactivate the bank account, he said no. The bank account was dormant. Dillon put it in the GAC, I think GAC store, right? He put it in the phone and then used that bank account. That was not Dillon. For certain reason, I will not give you Dillon bank number with UBA and LBDR. Dillon is banking with UBA and LBDR. What he declared was not his actual balance. So on that note, that was Dillon's first lie. Now, come on, Dillon's second lie again. When Dillon won the elections and he said, the money too much. I can't tell the money, I can do this, I can do the other one. I can live on 150 in Mozzarella County, and so I would take 5,000. When Dillon made that kind of bluff, we set up a committee. In all the committee meetings, we set up a county council for Mozzarella. When the county council was set up, the county council decided that they arranged with the bank that the portion of the money will go directly to their bank account. That they will set up a bank account, and then the Senate Budget Office will negotiate with the Ministry of Finance that the money go directly to their account, since the money was not going to Mozzarella account. So the money will go directly to the account. He said no. He will receive the money and then give them their portion. He will receive the money, then they will come to the office, he count their Maserati portion and give it to them. It happened the first 3 months because we were in the campaign period. They set up that committee. The committee went. Since that committee was set up, they have only challenged anybody, even from the law office. They have I think handled 2 projects. One with Matadi Mosque. The bathroom to Matadi Mosque has separate issue, and so they built new separate around the area. That was the first project. The second project.
That's a plus, right?
Yeah, though that was a plus. The second project was with I think Nese Bido Market. So assuming, let's calculate the money that was meant to be given to Maserati, and then look at the projects around the money. It makes no sense that you say, since he became senator from August 15 of 2019 to this time, the only money that the county council set up, the committee set up, and headed by Mr. Bidia, who almost like, she's just there now because of the name, and headed by Mr. Bidia, have implemented only 2 projects in Montserrat.
So because of time, we can be a little short. And
yeah. And then Dillon tell again was the rehabilitation center. When Dillon went America, he raised close to 98,000 United States dollars for rehabilitation center in Pinsville, district number 6. When we secured the land and made sure the everything was done, the lease agreement was done. I said when we, means I was there. Made sure the lease agreement, everything were done. Dillon told us that in March of 2020, that project would have been dedicated. The first time we had meeting and said, no, let's do it before the campaign. He said, no, but people will say we're doing it because of campaign.
What are you saying?
Hey, man. I'm telling you, I say we. I'm saying we.
But saying we doesn't mean the truth.
Brother, the rehabilitation center, all the lobby for the rehabilitation center were completed before the elections. So we're still keeping the rehabilitation center on a low pace. Let me tell you something. When that rehabilitation place was secure, all the huts, because it's an old farm, they get old huts there. All that huts, they will break everything down. But they didn't do it. They built fence around the old huts, and then if you see most of the photos, I will send you the pictures. If you see most of the photos, they are rehabilitating the huts. They put in, how do you call it, Columbus. They put in Colombo windows on the huts. Besides that, what's the money that Dillon spent from the money he raised to do the rehabilitation? Because even the fence around that area, that one lady did it. So the only money that he's spending that to do the Colombo window and to pave the yard, probably they say to brush the yard and other stuff.
But you speaking as if you're the technicians or
I went there. Let me tell you something. So one person that is massively benefiting from Dillon's corruption is this Martin Kula. The same engineer that Martin get building his school, that the same engineers were building the rehabilitation center. Now Martin's school's second floor has been completed. The rehabilitation center, I think they are now put 4 Colombo to 3 of the huts. They are completed 4 Columbus structures to 3 of the huts. So Martin project is going on faster while Dillon rehabilitation center is on a slow pace. They don't just went America again to lobby for that same rehabilitation center, and people raise money for him. My thing is that I know what most of the people, probably it is personal hate against President Weah that is driving this kind of, mere show of support to Dillon. Because if you see most of them, when he lie, they can try to be objective in our inbox, but when they come publicly, they can't want to be objective. But they will tell us, oh, my begin slow down. But they can be very objective in our inboxes when they don't lie. But to come out publicly, they will not want to do. Look at
you expose their objectivity. If you know that they've been objective, why don't you expose their objectivity instead? You say they come different.
Brother, this is it. Mm-hmm. I said, probably it is certain level of hate that is driving Dillon's support against President Weah. So the thing is that they're not objective. So maybe they just want to keep supporting them, man, with their money, that their own money, though they can do anything they want to do it. But if you give somebody money, close to 98,000 to come be rehabilitation center, and the president didn't show you a single picture of the rehabilitation center near completion, and they go raise another money for you again. What's from you? What sense does it make?
No, but no, I think there's a different point. If you enter right now, I work with the Senate. I'm assigned the Senate. I've gone in Senator Dillon's office times without number for press conferences as well. I've seen picture that shows his rehabilitation.
I don't want to carry that.
If you say
that particular picture that you saw, I don't want to carry that.
What is
that small billboard they face?
Design or what?
That small billboard they face, I got it from Prince Store Stationery. I don't want to carry that. So we projected that thing ever since. So don't come add like new thing.
Is it because you left? That's why you're saying yeah?
No, not because I left. But you want to counter argue my arguments. You
said because you say without a picture. So I mean, I've seen the picture.
You say you have seen a picture, but I don't want to pick up that picture and carry it there. By that time, the rehabilitation center there, they start brushing the place. So I don't want to carry that picture there. Just so you know, if you look at the picture, they are fairing trees. I don't want to carry that picture to Dillon office. Prince did it, and I took it there. But that time, it's just a projection. That font design you see was just a projection. In architectural drafting, they get something they call projection. They projected the place.
Let me come in. I've gone there. I've seen the updated one where you see if what you talk about could be there.
Before.
After you show up, after you left, you as an individual. But I'm being clear here. This is something we saw. Each time you go there, you see it. That the building, there are a couple of buildings within the thing that are being rehabilitated or being built. I'm now architecture, but I've seen that picture in his office. So if you're saying that he went there
on the picture,
on the basis
I
of
understand your
question.
On the picture, you can even see car parking in the yard with a rear flow tire. I want you to go there. You as a journalist, be investigative enough. Go there and see if that flow tire that is projected on the picture is actually on the floor.
So we leave that one, right? Let's just get to other things that you were saying because we close with time. We're out of time. So you talk about one of the major political actor, advocates, quote unquote, political commentator. Henry Costa has made a public post on the issue of Senator Dillon, and I want to be clear here with his statement. The political commentator, so he called himself, or he is, said, talk about the same issues of Senator Dillon, talk about his flying, the money he used or whatever situation he used to fly. I just want to be exact with what he said, not to, be misstep of a direct quote warning the senator in terms of not setting an ambush, because he said, Mr. Senator, it was good you said it on the early basis that you fly, business class instead of economic class, and this shouldn't happen again, but I still get your back. I don't know. What do you make of that statement? I want to be very clear with what he said on his official Facebook page.
I read it.
Okay, go ahead.
I read his post.
Yeah, that'd be cool with that.
And I want to know if he didn't take it down. I want you to check if that post is still there as to whether he didn't take it down, because he's very good at that. He could have taken post down. That very Costa guy. You see, it is clear enough. For me, I believe in a kind of politics, and to some extent, when you do something, and they may already get certain level of people who, even if they don't say anything like green or say that white, you already get that kind of people that will back you up. If you do something, own up to it. When Front Page Africa first they published,
let me hold you there. Here is a statement. I screenshot it. He said, "A.B. Darius Dillon, I accept your apology going forward. Be careful what to make an issue out of. You committed no wrong in flying business class with your own money, so there was no need to deny it. You should have simply spoken the truth, and that would have settled it. Plain and simple. You are still by far better than most in the ratting place. Keep your head up. I have your back, but don't ambush me again." That was his statement he made. I mean, that's
don't ambush me again.
Right.
I just want to take it from that point.
That'll be close because we have time.
I have worked between the two before. I know Costa, I know Dillon. Costa, I campaigned for Costa in district number 6 in 2017. But then I was in the Liberty Party. Dillon didn't like me campaigning for Costa. So I know that Costa not really like Dillon. Dillon not like Costa. They pretending. You know, when Costa said, don't ambush me again. Have you seen the highest number of people that resign from a political group in your data? It happened to Costa. And it was engineered by Dillon. People resign. Look, it makes no sense that we are in the same institution, but people resigning from your side and coming to my side. But we're pretending that we like each other and we're working in unity. 23 young people resigned from Costa's COP and joined Dillon Sabotin.
I really scheme that
They didn't just stop there by joining Dillon Sabotin. They did join Dillon Sabotin. They started making TikTok video of Costa making fun out of him where he was literally crying on the video.
But it still became those 23 names were listed that they were removed or they were given. They found they were expelled.
That's not true. That's not true. We were on top of that politics. When the children resigned, they resigned, I think, 5 hours before the expulsion list came out. When you resign from KMTV now, 1 hour before Josiah in our office read letter and said they expel you, it makes no sense. You have already resigned. So the young people resign, they publish their resignation individually, and they publish their full listing and every backing and supporting document that they resign. And they didn't say a word that people will resign from Costa and join you and buy Muff Costa and Short Costa and limit him to a TikTok crying video. They didn't say a word. So the thing is that even among the big people, the political leaders, the people ain't like each other, but they are pretending. Let me tell you something. My most confused moment in politics was the inception of the CPP. When you wake up one morning, you will see Liberty Party people fighting Unity Party people. The other morning, you wake up ANC fighting ALP. No direction. Everybody just fighting everybody. So they really like each other and they are not united. Let me tell you something. The only beneficiary from this CPP arrangement will be Dillon.
So we're out of time. Actually, I hope that next time we can come and continue the discussion. Well, folks, if you've been following us, this is Youth Inside, and this show is soon to be Youth and Politics. With me, Zac Sherman. I'm going to be here, and we bring a couple of young guys from the political end, from the advocacy end, from humanitarian end. So it's basically not just going to be politics holistically. We're going to bring young people who are involved into politics or non-political issues as well. Political youth organizations, we're going to highlight them and talk about issues. We talk about national politics as well on Youth and Politics right on KMTV. My name is Zac Sherman. Aaron Kofa has been here with us. Remember Aaron, our former member of the Labour Party, former staffer of Senator Dillon, and he's been with us sharing his experience and telling us why he's made a decision to join the COP of CDC. Wow. So we continue the discussion next time to come, and we hope that he will be here. But before we go, Aaron, can we get your final statement before departing?
Thank you, Zah, and thank you to the KMTV family. I just hope and pray that this would not be just Aaron coming. You know, when you start the political part of your show, invite young people, so that, there are too many people, as somebody on the live video say they bugging live. I want you to organize it and bring somebody from CPP and bring me, so that we can challenge the last face to face. If I'm lying, the person will tell me in the face. But right now, it will take me time to go in before the person say, oh, they will do a post and say, Aaron lie. There will be no way to counter my argument here. And so that bring us face to face. Bring young people face to face. Yes, right. Bring young people face to face, and let's confront each other. And so
we're being very objective. I will be very objective, very strict,
we can confront each other in a safer manner, very respectful and mature way. We can do that. And young people are reaching to that point in politics where we no longer fight, we debate the issue on social media. If you're not opening a line for somebody to call, there will be too many young people who would disagree with me, which is not a problem. This is democracy, and democracy calls for that. And so it is important. And so thank you very much for having me here. The CDC Council of Patriots wholeheartedly respect the National Revolutionary Youth League of the CDC recommendation to halt our protest. We believe and we want to assure Darius lying Dillon that there are more days ahead after the COVID-19. He will account to us. He will account to us, and we will tell the Maserati County, we will tell the people of Maserati County that this is the Dillon. This is the frequent who have lied his way to permanence and position of responsibility in our country, and we will end that culture of lying to power in Liberia. And so thank you very much. It is good that young people are getting inspired to be part of real, active, national, and civil politics, and so it is good enough. And so thanks to the Revolutionary National Youth League, thanks to our big brother, the Lord Mayor Jefferson Kochi, who keep inspiring young people into this game and who keep inspiring us to be more progressive in politics and to be more civil and mature. And so it's a pleasure being here, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you very much. Of course, Aaron Kofa there, he's the Public Relations Officer of the COP of the CDC, that's the Coalition for Democratic Change, Council of Patriots, Press, that's Public Relations Officer Aaron Kofa in studio with us today on the show. And this actually ends Youth Insight. If you may have been hearing Youth Insight today, it's actually going to end, and we're going to resume. The show continues, but with another branding, which is youth and politics. And like we said, we're going to highlight political youth organizations, some young people who are into politics. We're going to bring them here as well and talk about the national politics. We're going to bring our national political actors as well. We're also going to bring advocates here as well, be it activists or advocates, organizations, CSOs, NGOs. We are open up to that. We're going to be very independent and objective to the issue in discussing what matters for not just this Maserati, but Liberia at large, because Liberia is what we have and we should all depend on. My name is Zac Sherman, and it is and will be a pleasure having all of you following the show each time we resume or come on. Remember, the show comes on every Wednesday, 5 to 6 p.m. We're going to be prompt. We're going to be on time. We're going to be real. We're going to be real to the extent of making the best out of what should be the best. Again, have a nice time, and thanks to the management and staff of KMTV for always giving us the opportunity to explore our potential.